What's up, y'all? Landon back with Word of the Week. And so this week we received some sad news about that Phil Robertson had passed away. And while it's sad for us because we're not going to hear his Bible studies anymore or his podcasts or all the things that he had to say, for Phil, it was a great day because he got to see Jesus, meet Jesus, the one who died for his sins. And there's a kind of a saying that says, for a Christian, that says, "I'm living for the well done." And there's no doubt that Phil was doing that. And in Matthew chapter 25, verse 23, it says, "His Lord said to him, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord.'" And there's no doubt that Phil heard the words, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant," because when Jesus saved him from his sins, he lived the absolute rest of his life telling others about the gospel and how Jesus could save. And in Mark chapter 16, when Jesus had been resurrected from the tomb, he told the disciples, he said, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He who believes and is baptized will be saved, but he who does not believe will be condemned." That's exactly what Phil lived his life doing, was telling others about how Jesus could save them from their sins so that they could go to heaven. So just think about that. Phil Robertson, the last 50 years, he has been living his life for what he has just experienced, to be in heaven, telling others about Jesus, sharing the gospel, letting others know the good news, the treasure that Jesus is, and how Jesus can save us from our sins. And this shirt tells the story of the gospel, and I've seen Phil use this example before, where you have the arrow coming down. Jesus came to earth, lived a perfect, sinless life so that he could die on the cross and be a sufficient sacrifice for our sins and pay the debt that we could not pay. Then Jesus was resurrected from the tomb, which all those who trust in Jesus, put their faith in Jesus, we will be resurrected. And that's good news, because at the end of the day, we're all going to die, right? And we want to be resurrected and be saved from that, just as Jesus was. Then Jesus went up to heaven, where he is now next to God. And then Jesus is going to come back and get his church. Or maybe he comes back just like Phil did. Phil died. Either way, whether Jesus comes back or we die, we're going to stand face to face with Jesus. And so what I want to know, that when I stand at heaven's gate, just as Phil did this past week, that Jesus has paid for my sins, and I get to go and spend eternity with God in heaven because my sins will have been forgiven. So I just want to encourage you, put your faith in Jesus, and if you're looking for a role model, there's no greater than Phil Robertson to listen to his Bible studies, the Unashamed podcast, and go learn about Jesus and tell others about the gospel. Thank y'all, and God bless.